Well, lovely to spend time with you all this morning, and thank you very much for the opportunity. And really, it's just designed to help you get the recognition that you deserve, basically. So, a bit about me: 30 years experience. My God, where's that time gone? I actually started out setting up a tasting panel for Shamborsi, went to railway brake engineering, went to plastics manufacturing, then to construction company, then owned my own business. So anybody who gets a chance to talk about careers to kids, which I do as well, don't think that there's a plan, because there absolutely isn't. Um, I didn't ever envisage I'd be an Amazon best-selling author. I certainly didn't think that I'd help people win opportunities worth 3.8 billion with bid writing, but the construction sector is very large, and there are frameworks that come up every 4 years. So in terms of award winning, I made it a part of my business strategy early on to try and get that recognition, because it is hard work making noise when you're a small organization. PR is wonderful and it needs to be sustained, and it gives you a story to talk about. And I was honoured to be awarded an MBE by Queen Elizabeth in her last New Year's honours. And that probably is a highlight of the business journey, which was for services to the construction sector and to entrepreneurs. That's an image of me at the Stevie Awards for Sales and Customer Service last year. And this is the image that everybody always likes to see. If you know anybody presented their MBE isn't wearing it, you're not allowed to. They take it back off you after you're presented. So all the photos of everybody outside is holding it. So in case you wondered. And Prince William said, "Wow," and commented on my purpleness. So that was a lovely conversation. But more importantly, how to win for yourselves. This is the issue. How can you win more? Well, should you enter awards? Well, yes, funny enough, I do encourage you to do that. Where do you find awards to enter? It's a question I often asked. What are the 5 Ws for award entries, and some tips for standout and success? So, why would you enter awards? Well, actually, most people are always asking the question, have I got what it takes? Has my company got what it takes? Almost certainly, yes, depending on which ones you look at, how you're structured. You do need to find the right ones. You need to give yourself enough time to be successful, and you need to, funnily enough, put the effort and the research into compiling that compelling entry. Some awards will have thousands of entries. Some may have 10 or less. You're not going to know that, but you will start to get a feeling of structures when you're looking at awards that you can enter. But generally, obviously, the ones that are worth winning are hard won, and that's why they're a recognition that people want. So, to give yourself the best chance, make your entry a timely process. So, you've got to give yourself that time. And then I also asked, isn't it just big companies that win awards? Well, no, we are one of the smaller companies that win awards internationally. There are very big companies that win awards internationally. It is about finding that structure that works for you. I'm not saying there aren't ethical awards. And in fact, there is a chapter in my book saying not all awards are equal. Have you been written to and say you've won an award that you don't even think you've entered? I get probably one a fortnight at least, sometimes more than that. So there are ones that want you to pay for the award when you've won it or whatever, but you have to pick through that. But there is a common thread to winning awards. It's called entry. Did you put your entry forward? Most people who get to the stage of I don't win anything, you say, "Did you enter?" And well, no, because I didn't win anything. And you've got to fill the form out and stop wishing, basically. So why is it you actually want to win? People will have multiple reasons for why they want to win. Sometimes they want that gleaming trophy. They want to be featured in the paper. They want an invite to somewhere prestigious. They might want respect and admiration in their own industry. But certainly in terms of award success, building trust is one of the biggest factors, as is recruiting talent. It's a major standout for your business. And all of that leads to winning new customers. As we said in the past, if you've got a choice of a business that's award winning or one that is not, a human instinct is to choose one that is award winning. Some people want to win to prove someone else wrong if you've had a lot of naysayers. I'm not saying that's a right or a wrong reason, but sometimes that is a factor for people. So consider what it is for you and what you want to do. But mostly it's about fulfilling your potential, because the process of entry is really useful for assessing your business. So the chances are there is an award for you. You could be micro, solopreneur, a large corp, charity, public sector, just outstanding in your area of expertise. There are hundreds of awards every month. It's not a job I do, keeping a database of them, but there are organisations that do that. I would say there's probably an award out there that you can enter, providing that you've got certain structures in place. And if you've got as far as listening to this presentation, then you've obviously got the ambition to look for it, and that's what the judges are looking for. So why should you enter? Well, there's some really great factors that we're sharing here. Competitive advantage, undoubtedly. Independent validation is really key. So look for awards where there's an independent judging panel. Free PR, yes, there is no such thing as free anything, of course, but the awards themselves will be generating PR. They will give you collateral. You can share that. And it certainly does boost team morale. And one thing you can do with an award ceremony, it's really, really great to take your team to an award ceremony. It's possibly even greater to take your clients. So look at how you can boost the broader team morale. And securing trust, I say, would probably be the factor over everything, because if it's an independent validation, it's not just you saying you're brilliant, it's someone else saying you're brilliant as well. And you get that feeling, that wonderful, I'm holding the trophies. And that was the first Stevie Award win in 2019 in New York City. So there are different types of awards. We've got numerous sorts: national, international, local, skill-based, organization-based, every aspect that you can slice and dice a business community by, there are awards. But actually, choosing the right one is going to be critical to your success. Where is it your business does shine? What do you do that's a standout amongst your peers? And actually, you don't have to be the best in the world, in the UK, or even in your sector to actually win. They're choosing out of those that entered at that point in time. So there are times where if a cluster of wards all close at the same deadline, they may get less entries. If you had, people on holidays, if you had during the pandemic, there was a lot less entries. Funny enough, I think everybody was concentrating on writing their book during that time. So now you will see the book awards have got massive number of entries because all these things are time lagged. But you can go about the process of winning awards, and much like bids and much like grant applications, it is a process to go through. So there are huge possibilities. You might think that the international title is going to give you the greatest honour. Well, undoubtedly, it's the greatest peer group to compete against, but actually being known in a regional or a national space may be really useful for you. So if you're in healing, if you're in HR, whatever it is that you're doing, but do think about the audience that's attending. So I had a similar conversation with an accountant one time that said, "Oh, I really want to be in the Zero Awards." And I said, "Yeah, I can understand that, but who are you promoting your business to? If you're promoting yourself to a load of other accountants, is that what you want to achieve?" So just ask that question of yourself when there is that huge possibility. So the right awards for your business, which are the right ones? Have a look at the previous winners. They are often on the websites. Do they look like you? Do you want to be associated with them? Choose the right category that gives you the greatest credibility. And actually, it might not be the obvious one. I have had several instances myself personally where I thought, okay, I'll enter the business services relative to marketing. And it actually happened with the GB Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. And I actually put forward for the Go Do Entrepreneur of the Year as well, which was about attitude and tenaciousness, and ended up winning that one. So you just don't ever know, but do think about what is the title. Are you proud of winning it? can you answer all the questions is the key bit, because ordinarily they will publish what they want from you at that point. And then you have to really ask yourself that honest question. And if you're not able to answer that yourself, ask someone you trust. Against these criteria, have you got the ability to answer those questions? And if any one of those is a yes, it might be worth going for. But the more of them that there is, obviously, that's the process that goes forward. And it is a process. So there are numerous awards you can enter, but I would say build yourself a target awards plan. You can research all the awards that are coming up. Boost Awards have a database and they email you every month, and there are many other agencies that do the same. So you can always research that. Schedule the number of entries over the year. Build yourself that momentum because you've got that process, and then review your success by category, because you will find out that actually where are you going to go that process and how do you find that structure. So where do you find awards? Well, actually, finding awards, you can go to all different places: Google, industry bodies, websites, trade associations, Chamber of Commerce, media houses. It's really good to have that link there and see what you can actually find out. Um, and, all different awards take place in different places. So it's just about having that structure. But certainly gathering evidence before the award entry is really key. Read the instructions. Are you eligible? Can you provide the required information? Is there a word count, a page limit? What are the entry rules and do you understand them? And extra evidence. So look at providing accounts, case studies, and testimonials, because that's really key in that process. You need your evidence to help you. So I'm going to stop sharing now because I just wanted to gather some people's thoughts on the award entry process and what they've thought and what they've come up against. And I know we'll have a chance for questions. How are we doing on time, Sarah? Have we? Okay, fabulous. And I'd really just like to open it up to the floor. Who's had what experience and what things have they found really useful? Where is it that you've looked for awards and how is it that you found the process? And I would just say, when you think about awards, when you think about the judging criteria, you put all of your entries forward. There's a lot of structure to that. Put yourself in the mind of the judges. They cannot judge you on information you haven't put forward. They might know you, but they still can't give you credit for knowing you. It needs to be what's put forward on that occasion. So have you, for example, built yourself a PR document where you've screen grabbed your press coverage, you've screen grabbed the things that you've done with apprentices, when you've done interviews for local schools, when you've helped with charities, have you collated that into a central mass of information? Because that's the thing to do in advance of the structure. Have you actually got testimonials from your clients? I know marketing companies can be the worst for doing that because we're telling everybody else what they should be doing all the time, but you never get to doing it yourself. So do you have that process that you ask for that at the end of your sales cycle? And building that library of information is really key. So you've got it there to be able to enter with. Are you needing to put anybody forward as a reference? Some awards do like to have people that are going to be your advocates. If you're going to do that, do tell them in advance that you're putting them forward, because there is nothing worse than that call coming out of the blue and them not knowing what to do. And think about what actually happens at the award ceremony and what you're going to do after that process. So you get to the award ceremony and you haven't won. It's a horrible feeling, of course. Nobody enters if they don't want to win. Bottom line, if they do want to win. But what do you salvage from the process, or what do you embrace in that process? Well, first off, get the success of your finalist status. You might get a little medal that you can put on your email footers, you can put on your packaging, you can put on your website, you can write a press release still about being the finalist. But interestingly, if you're a finalist and not the winner, maybe you've got better networking opportunities because you're not being hauled off to go and do a video or having to spend your time speaking to the organisers, because they want that as part of their award ceremony. So maybe the networking can be your benefit. But of course, if you've actually won, which is the whole aim of the game, of course, what are you going to do to make as much noise about that as possible? And it's about writing the press release, putting that on your website, sharing it on your social media, taking part in any video opportunities, taking part in any blog opportunities, and rotating that information so that you're thanking the organisers, you're congratulating the other winners, you're reaching out to the other finalists, you're building your network as part of that process. So I would say awards are hugely valuable, but it isn't just the award winning itself or its process, although there can be magnificent things. I'd like to introduce you. This is Grand Stevie.
Yeah.
He is as big as you think. He is 4.6 kilos, made by the same company that make the Oscars, plated in gold. And I had to buy new luggage to get back from New York one time. That is a nice problem to have. Do not moan about buying extra luggage. That is the end result that you want. So when you've got the chance of that sort of accolade, it is a great thing to be able to do with your business. And you might mix it up. Sometimes you might choose to have personal awards. So entrepreneurship, best coach, best therapist, something of your skill set. Other times you might look at an attribute of your company. So contribution to community, most charitable endeavor. So it isn't about necessarily winning the same thing every time. And also, if you have a strategy that awards are going to be a focus of what you're doing, then do actually try and keep that momentum, not have a massive blip and then none and then a blip and none. It might then create a question in people's minds, well, you haven't won anything for a few years. Or if people see all the medals on your website and they're all actually from 2019, for example, they're thinking, oh, are they still trading? You know, it's one of those things that you just want to keep consistent. But in terms of ones that I would definitely recommend you look at now, if you're a female in business, you haven't got much time, but the Best Business Women Awards close tomorrow at 6 p.m. Chances are, if you haven't started already, then you will probably not have much chance to succeed. But I am a judge and a sponsor of the Best Business Women Awards. They are very ethical, they're very thorough, and they have independent judging. A lot of criteria for people on their skill set for businesses owned by women. Also opened this week is the Small Biz 100. So the wonderful Small Business Saturday campaign, which encourages people to spend their money with small businesses in the run up to Christmas. So Small Business Saturday is the first Saturday of December, and the Small Biz 100 focuses on 100 individual businesses in the 100 days up to that time. So they launched the beginning of this week. It will have a time frame on it, which I can't recall, so it's a month to get your entries in. But what they will do is feature you on their social channels. So if it's your business that is one of the Small Biz 100, you get your day and they will amplify you out to their audience. And ordinarily, you might get to do a stand in Downing Street, or you might get an invite to the House of Lords. There's a great community and an alumni associated with that. And actually, related to that, the same community has the D100, which is the Disability Business Owner 100, and the F Entrepreneur 100. So there's all of these structures, and they open up regularly. The Stevie Awards for international business have multiple different categories. They have sales and customer service. They have the women in business category, which is open now and is awarded in November. And again, they ask for different structures. So some might ask you for a video, some might ask you for a written response. And it's actually thinking which bit is the best chance to get my information across. But one hint particularly is when they say you can provide extra info, that is the clue to get yourself highlighted. So that's where you use your press coverage, your client testimonials, your customer satisfaction scores. All of those things are the evidence that is broader than what you're saying. I mean, in terms of a judging process where you've had an award, it's mildly interesting if you say you've got a good business, but if someone else says you're a good business, then it's so much more of a highlight. So, yes, awards create great PR, positive PR about your business. It's important to have the peer recognition, and actually, that is one of the reasons the Stevies are the Stevies, because Stevies mean in Greek means crowned, and the award itself has the Maslow hierarchy on the top. So it's actually about recognition of peers, which is what you want to get to eventually. It is about attracting new clients and new business, and that is a standout. But also importantly, it's about showing your team how much you love them. And it might not be that you employ people, it might be your peers that cheerlead you, your family, your freelancers, whatever it is in that structure. So there is undoubtedly a great ethic to winning awards. Just have a look through, see are they the ones you want, and yes, it's just that whole process. I'm a definite positive advocate of it, but like everything, you do need to do a little bit of research and find out are they the ones for you.
Awesome.